Right. I think I'm gonna probably make this a kind of a regular thing now. I've just finished watching Squid Game yesterday, and right. So I was actually enjoying this all along as I was watching. I was enjoying it, but that ending kind of threw a kind of spanner in the works for me, and I think it's the last two were. And I think there's some certain issues I have now with the show, and don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying it, but you know, it's like you're watching a show. Oh, great, and then at the ending you go, huh? And then certain things in the ending kind of undo some of the good work they've done before. One thing I'll first say is, and guys, if you not watched Squid Game again, stop watching please. This because I'm gonna spoilers. So based on who won in the end, so we know who the last three guys were, and we know who won. Now to make, for me structurally, and this is just pure, this is me about how it would be better. It would be better when they opened the show, they opened with the North Korean lady defector. Focus on her family first. Still show what you showed about the guy who won. Still show exactly do what you showed about him, but don't open the show with him. Open with that girl. And then maybe even the second person you focus on should be Ali, and then maybe make him the third person you focus on. And then in terms of the recruitment to the game, that way you almost not telegraphing who wins at the end, because you basically it's, at the moment it's almost like a very linear storytelling, very boring linear storytelling. Oh, the hero who we started off with, who you made us get to, I guess, like a bit, is the guy who wins in the end. They could turn it around, and it would have given them more of a Game of Thrones character suddenly dying that people liked effect. So I think that was a misstep. I don't think it was not like a fail or anything like that, but I think it was just a dramatic, better storytelling misstep that they made. Now, but put that to one side. The things where I think there's some slightly where I'm struggling with logic fails, and I'll start with the guy they call the front man. So first of all, so this guy, and he turns out to be the brother of the police officer who's been looking for him, okay? He won the game to 2015. Unless I'm wrong, and please guys, if I'm wrong, correct me. He won the game to 2015. So he won billions of wons, which is millions, I guess millions of pounds. And he decided not to go and live the life of Riley, big houses, loads of girls, whatever. He decided to go back and be running the show. I find that a bit hard to believe, unless he's an absolute mental case. So I don't understand that. And even if you like that show, why don't you just go back there as an observer, like one of those millionaires did? He was actually like almost like a slave boy to these VIPs. Fine, maybe it's a nutter, but I find that a bit puzzling. And also the fact that his brother, the cop. So when they were trying to hunt down the intruder, at one point he finds the guy's badge because it was on the body he placed, when the body they found in the water. So at that point is when he knew it was his brother, because he saw the badge, and he still continued to hunt this guy. So I think to myself, so what? You knew it was your brother, and you were still willing to hunt him, knowing that if you end up confronting him, he would be forced to either kill you or you kill him if he doesn't join you. I just find that again another bit hard to swallow. And to be honest, I think even if the brother decided I want to be running this game show, it didn't have to be missing entirely from their life. He could have said, "Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm living in another city. I'm not in Seoul anymore. I'm living in another city. Or I'm not living in the country." And sometime that way he would have stopped the whole idea of him being missing and his brother trying to look for him, which in the end caused the danger to their game. That put to one side. Now, the old man, who was my favourite by the way, well, on to the end, until I realised who he was. I struggled a bit with what he was saying at the end. To be honest, I found that a lot very boring, if I'm being honest. That whole him being on that hospital bed in that house and then betting on the homeless person. I find it boring, but it raised many questions to me. So, one, was he the top man? And if he was a top man, then why is the game still continue with him gone? One. Or was he not the top man? He was just one of a group of people who decided to do this, which would make a lot more sense in my view. And okay, so after that, now because he was bored, I guess because he was old, and maybe because he knew he was dying, he had a tumor. He decided that actually I'm going to take part in the games itself. You know, I can see why somebody would do that. Somebody who's jaded, who's going to die anyway. I'm going to take part in the game. But, and this is my big question here, when he was taking part in the games, did that mean he always had immunity? That if he'd lost, they would have killed him? Because that's what it's, because he lost the marble game, but he wasn't killed. Now, the first game, I can see how, yes, I can see how they could have rigged it that he wouldn't die, and that, you know, because that robot would just ignore him even if he moved. But if he was always going to survive, how on earth would they have saved him from the tug of war game? That bit is what I don't understand. How would he have survived the tug of war game if he was protected? But if he wasn't protected, which the tug of war game seems to imply, then that means he was fully 100% at risk in all those games. So why did they say, why was he not shot in the head at the end of the marble game? Just question. And now my final bugbear is our protagonist, our hero. He did all of this because of the love of his daughter. He had money, he was in debt. His daughter was moved to America. He wanted to prove himself to his daughter, have money to be able to provide for his daughter. This is his main motivation for doing this. And he, at the end, once he's won this money, well, they say so traumatized, blah blah blah. He doesn't even do anything. He doesn't do anything for his daughter. And when he actually finally kind of comes to senses a bit, and he's going to see his daughter, he's almost on the point to America, he decides to turn around. Huh? That makes no sense to me. Go to America, see your daughter. You can always come back and then do whatever hero business you want to do to try and stop the games from continuing. But not getting on that plane was just a useless dramatic scene that makes no logical sense at all. Get on the freaking plane, go to America, spend a week, 2 weeks with your daughter, talk to her, give her, you know, let her see her dad, which is your main motivation from the very beginning. And then if you still want to carry on your campaign against this game, come back. My son, I was speaking to my son about this, and at one point he made, which I knew from the very beginning, he was saying that the game showrunners always keep on trying to imply that, oh, nobody forced them to play that game. That is blatantly false. The very first game, they had no choice, and none of them knew that the consequences of failing would be. So when they recruited, nobody said, oh, I'll put you in a game where you're going to die. No. The first game, they had no choice. They were played and half of them were killed. It's post that, like when they released them, yes, nobody forced you to come back. That one I agree totally. You all came back, and when you came back at that point, you already knew the risks. You knew it was a life-threatening situation, and you decided to. So that one, it's fair. But saying no, nobody forced them to play the game, no, that's not true. In the beginning, people were forced to play the game, 100%. And those who died without any choice in matter. Right, I think I've written longer than I expected to. Latest Squid Game rant.